Hey guys, John here. Today's Toxic Biohazard patch is called Organ Pad of Chaos. Now this one is a little bit interesting because it has the typical sound of a organ pad-ish kind of thing, but there's quite a big twist to it called the chaos spot to it. So this is what it originally sounds like. So that's basically going to be the meat and potatoes of the sound. However, there is a little twist here. Now on the bottom right here where the delay module is, you'll notice that the effect of the mix knob is all the way down. Now this knob is designed to bring the chaos outside of this patch, and it's kind of low in the beginning, and you'll see why here. So let's play an interesting chord. That's not that interesting. Let's go here. Now watch what happens when we increase this mix knob to really bring in the tension, like something's happening, something's crazy, something's going on. So take a listen to this. Pretty crazy. And I pulled down that mix before I could let the delays ring out, so let the delay ring out like this. So pretty wild. So this is going to be a knob that you're going to want to automate, maybe if you're like building some tension, and this is going to be the climax of it. So an interesting patch there with a little secret weapon in the delay module. Who knew, right? So let's dive into this patch, and as always, if you like the patch, give the video a thumbs up. It helps me quite a lot, and subscribe if you are new or haven't done so already. So first things first, we have 3 voices of unison. The polyphony is going to be 8, unison detune 20%, and the pan 100%, so kind of standard stuff there. The attack is at 0.128, which is kind of a little fast for a pad, but kind of slow for an organ, so it's kind of like in the middle of that. Totally adjustable if you'd like to. Decay and sustain are all the way at the top, and the release is actually pretty healthy, 3.7, so definitely within pad territory. Velocity curve and driver down. The master volume, as you could probably tell, is down by 10 dB because when this patch is without the mix knob, it's kind of low. So when you increase that mix, it's going to bring up the level quite a bit. So kind of be aware of that if you're using this patch for anything. So for our oscillators, we have a saw wave for the first one. That's 100% in the mix. For oscillator number 2, we're going to have a square wave down -19, and that's 84% in the mix. Sine wave at -99, kind of like what we've talked about before, and that one is going to be 55% in the mix. And now we have organ for oscillator number 4 up 48 semitones. So what's happening here is that oscillator number 4 is not in the mix in the audible territory. As you can see, this is 0. However, it's on because it's frequency modulating number 3, which is 55% in the mix, and it's frequency modulating it by 48%. So that's kind of the concept behind this down -99, because that looks so strange because that's such a low sound that you wouldn't think that would work. But if you frequency modulate it fast enough with +48 on an organ sine wave or on an organ wave, it can sound pretty interesting. So that's the concept behind that as well. Now, for the filter section down here, we have a low pass on, and this amount here, the envelope amount, is all the way to the top at 100. The attack is going to be way up here at 7.037 seconds, decay and sustainer all the way at the top, and the release as 0.863. No LFO1 amount, key tracking, or velocity tracking. Those are going to be down. The cutoff is at 57%, resonance 15. Now, for our effects, we have the chorus, which is a depth of 55, rate 20, mix 40. Now here's where the interesting spot comes in with the delay. So our delay's on, obviously. The time is going to be 53%. I didn't sync this to any tempo because I kind of just went by feel. But if you'd like to sync that whooshiness of the craziness when that comes in, you can totally turn on the sync and kind of work it from there if you want to adjust it to whatever you're doing. The feedback is going to be 64% because we want a lot of that recurring delay happening. And the rate is going to be at 24%, depth 100%, and the blur, which is one of the coolest knobs in the synth as far as like the effects go or anything. It makes a really, really cool effect, and just it really does what it says, blur, and it kind of detunes stuff. I don't know exactly how in depth this one goes under the hood, but it's a very, very, very cool effect. Can't stress that enough. And the mix for now is going to be off because we don't need that crazy effect, but once we do, we can get crazy. I was in the mood to make pads, and I was like, you know what, let's make something chaotic and crazy, and this organ pad of chaos was born. So With that, if you'd like to get the patch for free, it is in the video description below, and you can have it for free and use it in one of your songs. If you do, for whatever reason, use any of my stuff, I'd love to hear it in the end of stuff. And without further ado, one last thing I did want to mention that I've mentioned before in some other videos is from these moving on forward, I'm not going to be saving these presets within the module of the synth itself. I kind of find it not as intuitive because I like having my presets on the top bar, which is kind of similar with a lot of other stuff, like with Citrus, for example, or with Harmor or something like that. So when you download the preset, you're going to be loading it in through this menu here or putting it into a folder you already have created. So then you can load up, you can click your presets menu and you can see the folder that you've downloaded and it'll load up that way. That's why right here it says default, because I do load the default preset within this patch to start in the beginning, but then I save it with the Fruity Wrapper stuff. I think it's a little bit better that way. So yeah, I thought I'd mention that before we go, and thank you so much for watching, and it has been a great Toxic Biohazard week. So thank you so much. See you in the next one.